All right, CCA or intermediate algebra students, you're probably noticing today there's only one Khan Academy to do. All right, CCA and intermediate algebra students, you are probably noticing today there's only one Khan Academy to do. Well, happy Friday, it's a break for you. No, not really. This one's just a little bit more difficult, so I only want to go through one today. So if you find it easy, well, congratulations, you got a little less work to do. If not, well, there's only one of them to do today. So let's get started. So today you're doing completing the square intermediate. There are two types of problems in this that you're going to encounter. One you're going to encounter is going to come in this format right here. Okay, this format right here, if you notice, has parentheses with a square root equaling a number. This, by the way, is called your perfect square form. Okay, so when you have the sum of a number squared equals a number, it's your perfect square form. The other way it's going to be written is over in this form. And I don't know if you remember this or not, but when you have this, when you have the sum of a number squared plus another number equals your 0 or function of x or y, this is called your graphing form or your vertex form. Okay, so the reason for the two forms, if you forgot, this form makes it very easy to solve and get your x-intercepts or your roots of the problem. So where does it cross the x-intercept? This form over here makes it very easy to find what the vertex will be, where the exact point will be the lowest point or the highest point of your parabola. So that's the reason for the two different forms. This one gives you your vertex, and this one gives you your two x-intercepts. Okay, so Khan's going to ask you to answer this in one form or the other, and I'm going to walk you through how to do this using completing the square quite simply. Okay, so this first form, the completing the square form. First step is I'm going to just rewrite the problem here real quickly. And if you remember right, to be in perfect square form, I need to get the correct C term here. Okay, to get a perfect square form, to get that correct C term, you might remember this formula, C equals B over 2A. And because our A term is almost always 1, it's really B over 2, your B term divided by 2 squared. Well, my B term is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 1 squared is 1. So this should equal x squared plus 2x plus 1. So this part, in order to be a perfect square, would need to equal this. Well, what happened to the negative 48? Well, how do I get from negative 48 all the way to positive 1? What do I need to do to get from negative 48 to positive 1? Good, I hope you just said I need to add 49 to negative 48 to get to positive 1. But whatever I do to one side of the equation, I need to do to the, yep, that's right, to the other side. And that's where the 49 came from on this side. So hopefully that made sense. If not, rewind a little bit and rewatch that portion. Once you're in perfect square form, remember this is the part where to get to your perfect square form, this form here, we take the square root of this number, goes here. The square root of this number goes here. And then whatever this sign is right here in front of the B term, whatever that sign is, goes right here. Okay? Again, if you need help on that one, rewatch that. Once we're in this form, well, now we've got it. Okay? We know what the number inside of here is going to be. It's going to be 1. We got that from right here. And the number on the outside here is 49, and we got that right from here. Hopefully that makes sense for how to do the perfect square form. This is actually the easier of the two forms to get by a step. It's easier by one step, okay? So let's kind of do another one here, but this time we have to also get into graphing form. So again, you're going to notice I'm going to rewrite the equation. Instead of putting f of x over here, though, I'm going to put 0 over there, because as if we're going for the x-intercepts, I'm putting a 0 over there. I think this makes it easier, okay? So the first step is, again, we need to get the C term, what the correct C term should be. So we're going to follow this formula again, half of our B term squared. Well, my B term is negative 4, so half of that would be negative 2. Negative 2 squared would be positive 4. So this is my perfect square form, where this C term is now the positive 4 that we've solved for by following this formula. Well, how did I get from negative 26 to positive 4? You might say, well, boy, wouldn't you have to add like 30? That's correct. If I add 30 to negative 26, I get to positive 4. But whatever I do to one side, I must do to the, yep, that's right, I must do to the other side. So I add 30 to this side as well, okay? Well, now we need to get to this form, okay? So the square root of x squared is x, good. The square root of 4 is 2, good. And what's the sign in front of my b term? A negative. So it should be x minus 2, square root of this, square root of this, and the sign in front of my b term equals 30, okay? We are now in perfect square form, but you're going to notice our answer is not in perfect square form. All I need to do, though, to get to this form is quite simple. I need to get this side here set equal to 0. So how can I get rid of a positive 30? That's right, you got to subtract 30 from both sides. So I'm going to subtract 30 from both sides, and I simply end up with the x minus 2 squared minus 30 equals 0. So my answer for this would be negative 2, which comes from here, and negative 30, which comes from here. So this form just involves one additional step from here to here. Hopefully this makes good sense to you. Hopefully not too difficult, but again, only one con today. Don't be afraid to ask me questions. Available from 9 to 11, or again 1 to 3 today. And then when you get done with this, it's Friday. Enjoy your weekend, guys, and hope everything is going well for you. Bye-bye.